Hello, beautiful family. God bless you. Welcome to the Principles of Honor. And today we're going to talk about admiration. I learned so much about the topic of admiration from Dr. Murdoch. But when you talk about honor, you cannot ignore the attitude of admiration. I want to share a little bit with you about it. And you should, and I should, admire something in everybody. I remember Dr. Murdoch would say there is a lot of gold under the mud. When people discover gold, they usually have to get a lot of mud out before they can discover a little bit of gold. You don't have perfect people around you. You are not perfect yourself. I am not perfect myself. We all have parts of us that are not attractive. We all have parts of us that are not sweet, are not good. But if we can focus on the divine deposit in people and cover the weakness, cover the humanity of others, and focus on their greatness, you will be an expert, a master in extracting treasures. I've seen many, not many because I don't actually like science fiction movies, but I've seen movies that talk about treasure. Are they called treasure hunters? Is that a word? They're seeking for treasures, right? And they do all kinds of things seeking treasures. And they go through journeys and dangers, and they go through all of this. People call them crazy, that you think it's your illusion. And then finally at the end, they were right. And the Indiana Jones happens. They find the treasure. Well, did you know that the greatest treasures God has ever placed are not under the grounds, are not in the trees or the mountains? The greatest treasures are inside people. And the tools to extract the treasures in others, the tools, we must learn them. The tool chest or the tool box is called honor. Honor has many tools, and one of those is admiration. Dr. Murdoch would always tell us you can never learn from someone you don't admire. Now, I cannot teach you to admire. That is something between you and the Lord. But let me tell you, family, if we don't admire anybody, then we are walking blind. And I don't think God can help us. I really don't think God will ever get involved if we are unable to admire the greatness in someone. So maybe that's the first prayer. Open up my eyes to see. It's one of my favorite songs because of the lyrics. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord, that we may see God, and we've heard this from Dr. Murdoch too, God dresses up in people's clothes. Everything God wants you to receive, He has placed in someone. Even when it comes to the Bible, He never meant for us to just read the Bible and learn. He wanted us to go and sit under men and women of God and learn from them. But you will never be able to learn from someone you don't admire. The cities where Jesus could not do many miracles were cities where He was not admired. He was criticized. The one that ended up hanging himself was the one that could not learn from Him. He was always criticizing Him. You cannot ever receive something good from someone you criticize. Now, what is the problem? Well, the problem with that is that God might have placed answers for you in the hearts of people that you don't like. Isn't that something? What would you do if you knew that God had something very special for you inside a person you reject? Rejecting people is very dangerous. Rejecting a race is very dangerous. The attitude of condescending, being condescending to people, is the opposite of admiring. Admiration puts them high up before our eyes. Being condescending puts them under us. I believe that it is the attitude of admiration that Paul was talking about when he said that we should see people as higher than us, even more important than us. I think that was for our benefit, not to make us feel less, but to be receivers of what God has placed in others. You cannot learn from someone you don't admire. If you're going to a church and you don't like the pastor, and the devil was able to convince you that something's wrong with your pastor, and that your pastor is not doing this right or that right, well, the devil won. Why? Because when the enemy gets you to criticize your pastor, he has won. And now your ability to receive from God through that man of God or that woman of God has been shut down. We don't see it, but the purpose of the enemy attacking the relationship with your pastor is so that you will stop receiving. That's the whole point. Once you stop receiving the word, you stop receiving faith. Once you stop receiving faith, you stop receiving victories. And you can never receive from someone you don't admire. If your admiration is going downhill, don't wait for them to do something great to fix it. Don't wait for them to do something great to decide to admire again. No, find the greatness like the one seeking treasures. Open your eyes to see it. But stay high in your admiration everywhere you go, because that's how you keep your heart receiving from the Lord. I hope this helped you, family. I want to also remind you that we are embracing the cause of helping the needy through Backpacks for School. We are inviting the community to join us at an event where we will preach the gospel with great skits and music. We're going to have prizes for them, but they're also going to receive Jesus in their heart. We're going to anoint them with oil. 168 kids will receive a free backpack full of supplies, but we need your help. If you would like to be a part of that, with a seed of $10, you could sponsor one backpack. We already have the backpacks, but with your seed, we will fill it up with supplies. You can sow through Cash App by going to Wisdom, number 4, Winning. You can also sow through PayPal or Zelle. The email is pastoranna@wisdomforwinningchurch.tv. Thank you for listening, family. God bless you, and I hope you be ready for your next devotional.